welcome you guys today. I understand every single day I come here in Martin Place and I just make sure to come and do my little work over here, which is something amazing. I understand that anything that's little, today is my I love you. I understand that when I understand something little, I understand I say I love you every single day. I understand I'm here always to perform. I'm always here to do something great every single day. Otherwise I do it with or without the crowd. I don't care about the attention because I care about I today. I care about something great. I'm here to speak. I'm here to really communicate my life so that those who are watching me on YouTube can also catch up with I today. I understand that every single day it's very important that you realize that what I is everything. Otherwise I is everything. I understand when I say what I is, I. I understand I is I. I understand what is today is I. I understand that's why I'm always living today, because I never cut the I out. I make sure every single day I talk that I as much as I talk the I as much as I can, because I understand that what's important today is that I love I today. Otherwise, if I don't love I today, otherwise then I may commit suicide. I understand I never go to suicide because I stick to the I. I understand today I have a nice beautiful epiphany which says I understand that everything that relates in communication is I. I understand that every single day I may look at whatever you want in terms of life. I understand that when I have a lot of thoughts going on, I understand those thoughts really mean I. I understand that anything in terms of masturbation and pornography, and masturbation in terms of the pleasure that you eat in daily life with other people and out there in terms of food and drink is all I. I need you to understand that anything with food and drink strikes up these thoughts about what you're eating. You have to understand that all you're eating really is I. I need you to understand that you don't think about what you eat. You just eat. You don't think about what you're doing. You just go do it. You understand? So the best way to never think is to just realize that everything that they sing and all the lyrics that they sing in terms of life, in terms of the music out there, and all of the music and all of the expertise that you're really listening to in life in terms of knowledge and audio is all I. You understand? And why do I say that? I say that everything is abbreviated in the I daily. I understand that when I go back to the I understand that what that crowd over there in Spain is doing today is I. I understand all the language that they're speaking in Spain today is I. I simplify all that language into one I. I understand what is happening in Spain today. I realize it's called I. I love you. I understand that. I understand that what's happening around the world in terms of Australia and the world today is just one letter. I. I understand now, you have to understand that all the situations in the world that you may arise in terms of all the problems out there is I. I is the problem. I is also the solution. You understand what I'm doing right here? I'm making sure they understand what I is. Understand it's called simplification. So when you're simplifying every single step of the way, you understand that every single number is I. I is every single number of life. So what's the best number? I. I is the best number. I first. I understand when I put I first every single day, I understand that whatever you're looking at is I today. Otherwise, I only see I today. I don't see 10 people, I see I. I see I. I understand when I see I understand I've got many aspects of life around here. I understand I just see I though. I simplify the two portraits into I. I simplify the portable speaker and the cables. I simplify the people as well into I. I understand everything is I because I don't have to think about it. You understand? Otherwise, if you start saying what's this and how does it look like, I realize that it's nice to ask questions. But understand that thinking doesn't revolve around anything but I. I understand that when you understand just the I, you understand never to think about I. You understand? You never think about I. I mean, do you think about yourself? I can say no. I don't even think about myself. I mean, why would I think about anything else? I don't think about myself. I realize there's nothing to think about. I understand that when there's nothing to think about in terms of my life, I realize there's nothing to think about in terms of your life either. You don't think. You just make sure that you understand the I. I understand my I, so I never have to think about the I. I mean, how can you think about I? I mean, how do you think about I today? I mean, how do you think about the dog? I mean, why would you think about the dog? I realize when you see the dog, I mean, you just must have a clear space in your head to understand it's I. I realize the dog is I. I understand that human being is I. I don't have to think about what they're wearing. I understand what they're wearing is I. I understand that when she's going somewhere today, I understand she's going today to see I today. I understand they're going to have feed in terms of a communication signal to have food and drink with I. I don't know who, but I. I understand? I realize that everything is I. I realize that wherever people are going today is I. You understand? Because I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about why they are sitting there, because I see already why they are sitting there. I see it's because of I. I understand they're walking today because of I. I understand that when I go and every single day elaborate on my I never have to give false information, because I doesn't lie. I say I love you. I mean, do you believe that's the truth? I mean, do you believe that's the truth that I just said? I love you. I mean, do you believe I mean it? I love you. I mean, do you believe I mean it or not? I mean it. I said I love you. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, that's all the love in the world. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, if I don't say I love you, otherwise I then don't mean it. You know what I'm saying? You have to say I love you to mean it. I understand every single day I'm always saying I love you. I'm making sure every single day I go and perform here in Martin Place. Because what's important is that you understand that this content will come here forever. I understand that Jesus' content here, in terms of Jesus Christ, is here forever. I understand here I am giving a nice beautiful entertainment show over here, because I don't need the crowd, but I have I. I have my nice little camera over here, because I'm here to do my work, which is I. I'm here to work on I today, with or without you. I don't care where you're going, because I already see where you're going. I understand you're going where I is. I is where you're going today. I go where I is as well, because I care. I care about I. You understand? So whatever is going on through your mind today must be I only. Or else the only word of the day is I. I is the only word of the day today. I mean, don't say any other word than I. I mean, just say I today. I mean, that's the only letter of the alphabet you have to think about. And understand that it's nothing to think about either. Or else I is nothing to think about. I understand I is just what it is. I understand when I speak about I daily, I simplify daily about what's going on around the world. I understand already that what's going on around the world is one letter. I. I is that, or else that's it. Or else you're already catched up to everything in terms of I. I understand every single day I come and do a nice beautiful street performance, because I understand that there are many people out there in the planet who need my help. I understand I always bring that nice beautiful audio every single day, with or without you. I understand that is how I improve my communication skills. I understand I have a little crowd over here, but I didn't come for the crowd. I came here to do my work. You understand? I don't go where the crowd is. I go where I have to go to do my work. I go where I have to go to make sure that I go and level up every single day and teach you something. I understand when I teach you something every single day, I always have much more in my life. I understand I go and develop this nice beautiful resume of 50 million hours on YouTube, and you'll find Danny Milivojevic with 50 million hours on YouTube of teaching lessons about life. I mean, that's what I work for. I understand that my name is not Danny though. I understand my name is I. I understand your names are I today. Otherwise, your name is I today. I already see your name. I know who you are in I. I understand everybody's name in life. Otherwise, if you name him Noah, otherwise their name is not Noah. Otherwise, their name is I. I is everybody's name. I understand who I is. I understand everything. I understand the world is one because everybody can say I. I is the only letter of the, or otherwise, I is the only letter of life. Otherwise, there's no ABC because there's I. You understand? Otherwise, the fastest alphabet, the fastest alphabet in the world is I. Otherwise, it's not A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Otherwise, that's too much thinking. Otherwise, that's too much thinking. Otherwise, the alphabet really is one letter. I understand it's just I. I understand when you go and sing the alphabet, you sing I. I is everything. I. You understand? I sing I all day long. I love I. I love you. I understand? I understand every single day I'm always singing. I'm singing I. I understand I've got nothing else to sing other than I today. I mean, what's the trend today? I mean, are you saying the trend is the coronavirus or is it you? I mean, is it you or the coronavirus? I understand it's I today. I is you. I love you. I understand the trend really is I today. I understand that's why I understand everything happens for I today. I understand that what happened with Jesus Christ happened for us. Or does it happen to teach us something about I? Or does Jesus says, don't cut your eye out. I understand here I am performing. I'm performing. But guess what? I love my life. I love my life because I don't need the fame. I don't need the attention. I understand that just comes very easily. I understand fame and legacy and everything comes easily because my videos that are 50 million hours in YouTube, you understand, last for a lifetime. You understand? I understand that when I say 50 million hours, I realize that all my videos really teach just one letter, which is I. I is everything. I mean, who's here today? I'm here today. I understand when I go and speak my I out, I realize when I speak my I daily, I make sure to go and look at people's communication skills because they miss the I completely. I understand Jesus says, don't cut your eye out. I understand when I hear them saying, future is the moment, and they have no I. You say, I see the future is the moment. I see the future is the moment. I mean, don't miss your I. You don't say future is the moment without the I. You say, I see the future is the moment. I. You don't say, love you. You say, I love you. I mean, that's the whole point of life. I is everything. I understand that when I teach the I daily, I understand every single day I perform and perform and perform so I can know my I every single day. I understand when I know my I, I realize when I know my I every single day, I understand that's why I'm very beautiful. I understand that's why I accumulate so much more material that I got to give in terms of I have to give, because I need to be literate. I don't like using slang because understand this. Understand I like to make sure that you understand what slang is. You fucking pisser. I see the pisser in the bro cars. I see bro in cars. I understand that. I understand that's not how I speak, man. I don't speak with slang. You understand? I don't know what a pisser is. I understand I though. I understand every single letter in the alphabet is I. I like to really speak up in a better way. You understand? I used to talk like that before. I understand. I never talk like a slang type of. I don't talk in a slang type of manner. I see hi y'all. I mean you don't say hi y'all. You say I see you. I see all of you. I see all of you. I understand who you are. I see all of you. I mean, speak nicely. You understand? I don't need you to speak slang. I need you to speak more literate. I need you to speak much better than bro and cuz. I need you to say ladies and gentlemen. I mean, ladies and gentlemen is better than bro and cuz. You understand? I realize that what's the difference? I realize there's a big difference. I understand the bigger words you use, the better. I understand when you have every single vocabulary in the dictionary, you understand why you're smarter. I understand when I say xylophone, I understand it's a great word. I realize that people don't use xylophone in terms of the word much. I understand why. I realize my xylophone over here is a nice beautiful tone. I like my xylophone because I understand the sounds. I understand it doesn't have to be the actual xylophone. I understand that's not even an xylophone. I realize that is I. I understand everything is labeled today is I. I just see I there. I see I. I see I everywhere. I understand when I see I make sure I'm always never dying. I'm never dying because I've got nothing to die about. I have nothing to die about because I'm always present in the moment. I understand when I'm present in the moment, I live my life to the fullest every single day. I understand that's why I'm always free. I'm free because I get to choose to be free. I get to choose to be abundant. I understand my life. I understand that many people wish to have my life. I understand they wish they can public speak on a video. I say, I wish I can do better. I wish I could do much better. I'm just doing much better now. I realize that you have to understand to wish more. You have to be a wisher. I realize when you wish for something, you achieve it. I realize when you wish for something, you'll want it. I wish to have that dream. I realize now you can achieve it because you wish for it. I understand if you have no wishes in life, I realize you'll never achieve it then. I understand when the genie gives you 3 wishes, you just wish for one letter. You just wish for I today. I know I realize when you understand what I is, you understand I love you. I realize without the I, you can never really love anybody. I understand that's what you wish for. You wish for the I only. I is everything. I understand that when I wish much more than yesterday, I come here into Marketplace and I start to do my nice beautiful content every single day. I understand I'm always here. I'm always here. I realize even if I'm not here, I'm here. I'm here on YouTube. I realize if you don't see me here, I'm still here on YouTube. I understand either way that you don't need to come and speak with I today. You just need to speak with your I. I have my own I, you have your own I. I realize everybody has their own I, for I love you. I need you to understand that is why the world is one. I understand every single day that there must be no thinking involved. You understand? Because guess what? I understand I never have to think about what I say anymore. I understand that all I've really spoken in this nice video right now is just one letter. I understand I simplified in terms of my I. everything I've ever said in this video and in my life. Otherwise, my word is just one letter. In terms of my life, is one letter. I love you. In terms of my I. Understand? I love you is one letter. I. I simplified this whole video to teach you I only. I understand that's the most important teaching of the world. Otherwise, there's nothing better to speak about than I all day long. I understand I'd rather speak about I than you. I understand when I talk about I all day long, I'll give you my story. I understand when I talk about you, I may go find out about your story and give your story instead of I. I mean, how does that feel then? I give your story and who cares about I today? I give my story and you go give your story. I mean, that's even better. I mean, if you wish to give me a story, you come here and understand to talk with me in terms of my I. I will happily give you a story out. You understand that only you can give your story today. I promise you, only Jesus Christ can give Jesus Christ's story today. I understand anybody in life has to fend for themselves in a way that they're lifting other people. I understand I believe in lifting only. I believe in lifting the crowd. I believe in lifting I today. I understand when I lift I today, I understand that's why I'm much more. I'm better than yesterday. I'm better than yesterday. Otherwise, my muscles are much better than yesterday. I used to be fat. I used to be really fat. I mean, you can go check it out, my nice beautiful Mega Drive. You'll see how fat I was. I'm now. I understand that when I'm now, I stick to the now in terms of I may say I was yesterday. I'm still I though. I go and talk this way now. I say I'm now though. I'm not I was yesterday. I'm now. You understand? Because you have to abbreviate positively, and you have to understand that what happened yesterday is I. I mean, what happened last week is I. I mean, what happened last month? I happened last month. I happen all the time. I is always happening. I'm now present because I said I am always happening. I realize anybody who has a hangover today or who is on the drugs, I promise you today, I always talk about last night. I understand what happened last night. I understand I happen. I happen always. I understand now I am here. I stick to the I, abbreviation. I come back into the moment. Because if something happened, I realize now, stick to the I. And you'll come and say it in a nice, beautiful way in the moments. Because if you say, what happened last night, I realize that's a question that's going to stick you into the moment. So ask more questions and you'll be more present. I realize if you ask a question that's anything like not a question, you understand, then you can say, I happened last night. I mean, what does that mean? I realize that means then you went last night somewhere. I mean, where'd you go? You have to understand that most people here start to think about the past and they say, I was yesterday, I happened 5 centuries ago. I realized when I was with Hercules times over there, I realize they're stuck in Hercules times over there. I mean, how long ago is Hercules times? I is the time I is the time management of time between the dinosaurs and now. I realize that's how much time there is. I mean, that's infinity and beyond. You understand? Or else why would you talk about dinosaur days? I mean, you talk it in the present moment and not in the past tense. I understand when I was with the dinosaurs yesterday, I understand that T-Rex was trying to kill me. I mean, does that sound crazy? I mean, where are the T-Rex today? I mean, stick to the present moment, please. I understand here I am right now. I understand now you can say that the dinosaurs were just yesterday. I mean, that's a long ago. I can imagine a T-Rex biting me today. I understand you now because you're really present now. You're talking like a real sense of common sense today. I understand when you make common sense like that, you're speaking in the present moment. I understand that drug addicts like to talk from dinosaur days. I understand the T-Rex was chasing me. I am honest about the T-Rex chasing me yesterday in 2 centuries ago. I mean, they're crazy. You understand? I realize they have a hangover. I realize they're too much on the drugs. You understand? I realize they're stuck in the past. I never need you to be stuck in the past. I need you to say, I can imagine how right now I can see a T-Rex. I can imagine it coming at me right now. I'd be running somewhere. I never would be running. I just run. I never have to think about that. You understand? Because what does Jesus teach? I see Jesus teaches no violence. Or else, why would you go to a dinosaur and kill it? I mean, just run away from it. You understand? I mean, as long as you run away, or else that's the best way. I understand Jesus never ran away. I understand, though, that Jesus has a story to give. I understand Jesus says that if I cannot live this life, I don't know why I live it for. You understand? I realize that Jesus came and died on the cross for you today, because it's today that Jesus died. I understand Jesus died. I realize Jesus didn't die 10,000 years ago. I understand Jesus died today. I say Jesus rose today because I'm present like that. I'm present. I understand that if Jesus rose yesterday, I understand then God doesn't exist. I understand that Jesus rose today and also showed up as an angel. You understand? Because everything today is an imagination. I understand that life is a beautiful star in eye. I understand everything is a beautiful way to live if you understand your eye today. I understand I stay so present today that I never need the fame. I never need the attention anymore. I had myself a portrait where I place it and it has large letters so that everybody can see my name in terms of my life. Otherwise, that's not my name. Otherwise, my name is not Danny Milivojevic. Otherwise, it's something I go by. I understand though that I minimize that. Otherwise, I have 2 small portraits now. I already showed it in the last video. You can go check it out. I understand either way that what's important is I show up for my work. I don't care about the fame, and that's why I minimize the letters. Because if you're interested, you walk 100 meters to find out about my knowledge. You walk all the way so that I can help you. Otherwise, if you want to help yourself, you walk 1,000 miles to help yourself. I don't have to come up to you. You understand? You have to come to my knowledge. I'm giving knowledge today. So you don't run for me, you run for the knowledge. You run for the knowledge because when you go for the knowledge daily, you understand why I do my work. I give that knowledge. Otherwise, that's what you run for. You have to run 50,000 billion years for knowledge. You have to run for knowledge all the time. You have to understand that knowledge is something that's going to help you. So run for it. Otherwise, when there's a guy out there who can help you with knowledge, you run 50 million miles for that individual to get the knowledge. You understand? Because they can teach you something. You understand? Otherwise, that many people don't do that. Otherwise, they don't lift a finger for you. You understand? Otherwise, that now, I'll come straight away to you if you have some knowledge to give me. But if you got no knowledge, you have no business. Otherwise, everybody has knowledge, but not everybody executes that knowledge. Otherwise, many people go throughout life never really living. And why is that? Because they don't understand YouTube, and they don't understand social media, and they don't tackle the knowledge, and they don't read books. Otherwise, they just do what the crowd does. You don't do what the crowd does. You go and find the knowledge, and then you give it. You become your own scientist. You become your own scientific evidence of how you're living life, and then you give your story. Otherwise, most people never really live life because they don't even give their story. I give my story every single day on YouTube. I understand that's what life is made for. You give your story, just like Jesus Christ. I understand every single day I give my story, I'm always much more present. I'm always much more of a fanatic of the moment. Because I understand now I can make music. I can also music production every single day. I can sing it. I realized just yesterday, you have to understand I'm still present here. I realized just yesterday, or just a moment right here, I say just recently. I realized I can say just recently is even better. I can say just a moment ago. I realized just a moment ago, I went into Sydney at night time, and guess what happened? I started to sing my portable speaker and my music track all down Sydney. I realized all the way down Sydney. I started to just sing on my nice beautiful portable speaker like this. I'm holding the portable speaker and I'm walking. I'm singing my nice beautiful track, and then the drop of the track comes and I start pumping. I understand then, in my nice beautiful time capsule where I live, which is I go and realize this. I say, hey, I can make a nice beautiful video hit of me singing with a portable speaker, walking down Sydney and all over Sydney. I can make a nice beautiful video hit about that. And then once I start DJing in a nice beautiful nightclub, I give some money to somebody, and they feel me pumping that music, and I'm fist pumping, and I get the scene. I then make them also get the crowd. Otherwise, I make them come to me in terms of the festivals. I give them money. Otherwise, then they come with me to the festivals. I pump at the festivals too. I then go and mix something up of me going around Sydney, walking and singing the speaker as well. I then make sure to, I make sure to go and do I every single day. I make sure to go around Sydney and put all the scenes together. And I'll make a nice beautiful video here of me singing around Sydney, this nice beautiful track. Otherwise it's an epiphany. I understand I can do it now because I can imagine it. I can imagine it, although that's coming up. I understand either way, in 10 years time, I still have that video hit going. I understand I have something much greater every single day. I always have a crowd around me in terms of my eye. I never choose to be around the crowd. I choose to come here to do my work. I came here to do my work. I never chose to be around people in terms of other people. I chose to come here to make sure that I can come and nicely evaluate my eye today. Because I came here for I. I don't come here for you. I came here for I. I is the life. I is life force. I understand that everything in terms of letters in the world, or there's only one word, and the word is I. I love you. I. I is the only word of the life. I understand there's no other word that you have to think about. You don't think about I either. You don't think in life. You don't think about anything. You just make sure you know the I. Otherwise, when you can say I love you, you then will live longer. You'll live longer. You'll make sure every single day to go and perform and to go do something special for yourself that's going to help you grow. I understand when I go and do that daily, I understand I come here and have a nice beautiful space because I need some space around here. I don't need other people around me. I don't need other people around me in terms of my eye. I understand that only I can speak my eye today. I understand that you can never say I love you for me. I have to say I love you. I realize you can never force me to say I love you. I have to say it on my own. I understand every single day I'm always performing. I'm always making sure that I'm doing something better. I'm making sure that I always have more to give. I understand when I give more, I also receive more. I understand I'm always more of a blessing. I understand when I'm a blessing, I understand I go to the I. I understand when I want to be present today, I understand I go to the I today. I thank you very much. I understand every single day, I understand when somebody wants to take a photo of you, allow them to take a photo of you. Or else if they want to take videos of you, allow them to take videos of you. Let them, because they're going to share it around. And they're going to promote it on their Instagram. Because they may be photographers, or else they may be doing something around reporting the news or something like that, and you're going to get extra promotion with your image. So realize any type of promotion is your promotion. So make sure you're promoting yourself just like I am today. You understand every single day I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube, although if you really want to find out about my YouTube account, you have to come and check it out. I understand either way, I make sure that I'm always much more. I understand when I'm much more every single day, I always have much more value because I don't go for attention. I don't go to other people, or else other people come to me. I have so much value to give you that you have to understand I'm always doing something better. I'm always making sure I have more of a life. I understand when I have more of a life, I have I love you. I have I love I. I love I every single day. I love thyself all the time. I understand I'm always much more. I'm always much more because I believe in thyself. I believe in something greater every single day. I understand when I do that, I understand I just make sure to go and simplify everything into I. I understand what you're doing. I understand you're just doing I. I understand that what you're doing right now is I. I understand after this video, you'll be doing I. Or else in the toilet, you'll be doing I. Or else in the shower, while you're talking to that girl or guy, you'll be speaking about I today. You understand? Or else your whole life is I. And that's that. I simplify your whole life into one word. I. And I never have to think about it. I can remember what I is. I can remember all the numbers of the world. I can remember all of them. I just understand that every single number in the world is I. I understand every single word in the dictionary is I. I simplify it because I say, your life is I. I just understand your life now. I understand who you are. You don't even have to give me a story. I understand your life already. I can see you. I already understand where you've been. I understand your status. I understand how much money you have. I understand how your health is right now. You cannot hide it. I understand straight away who you are. Just by the look of your face and how you look and your status today, I can straight away see who you are. Or else the truth doesn't lie. Or else the truth is always exposed in I. I'm always exposing I as much as I can because when I do that, I speak up. I start to speak up. I start to do something much more important. I understand when I do that daily, I'm always much more. I've got something going over here. I realize that most people don't even have anything to do in life. Or else most people just go and be around the kids. I mean, be around yourself instead. You understand? I mean, what do you need kids for? I mean, why? Or else eventually you do need kids. I mean, do you really? You don't need kids in this life. You don't need kids, but you need yourself the most. You need to understand you're the kid that you need. You're the baby. You don't need babies, you just need you. You just need you. Or else it's not about a baby, or else it's not about getting married, or else it's about being you. Or else when you be you daily, you understand why I'm always marrying I today. I'm married with I today. I understand my I is very important. I understand that I never need anything in life other than I. I understand I can be alone all my life. I can die alone. But guess what? You can never take my honor away from I today. You can never take away my soul. I understand who I am. I understand that I'm doing this for something greater. Because guess what? I'll get reincarnated into this world in I again. I understand that everything here is born again. I understand Jesus Christ is born again all the time. You always get born again. You understand? You must understand that you always renew the mind. You understand? Because God is in development right now in I. Understand God is a 7.6 billion people in the planet with everything that you see around. And everything is always getting more developed into this world in terms of I. Understand everything is so much more important today than ever before. Understand I have technology today. I have a phone. I have a Rode microphone. I can get that Rode microphone and I can sing from my phone into the phone with nice beautiful vocals. I can sing. I can then transfer a nice beautiful application where I place the audio that I sang from a video. I go video to MP3 converter. I make sure to convert the nice beautiful audio where I sang. I go put it into my DAW, which is my digital audio workstation. I understand when I do that daily, I go and make sure to make a beautiful soundtrack. I understand that I can go and sing a nice beautiful vocal from my phone. I can get my phone today, I can go and stick it in your face and you can say any word, and then I'll make your word in my nice beautiful soundtrack, and I'll make a nice beautiful soundtrack to your voice. I understand my phone can record your voice right now. I can do it with this nice beautiful microphone. I then put it into my digital audio workstation, which is my music production software. I then make a track around your singing voice. I can have anybody's voice in terms of your life and my life in terms of my I daily. You guys can always find me on YouTube over here. I understand every single day I'm always making sure I'm mentoring people in a different way. I'm making sure that you must run for information. I've got the information to give you. I always have the information that you need. Over the next 72 years, I'll be here. I'll be guiding you. I'll be making sure I mentor you every single day. I have an Instagram. I have over 11,000 photos of myself in my Instagram. How many photos do you have of yourself? I have 11,000 and more. You need to have more than that. I understand every single day I'm always making sure that I understand that when other people are very interested around you, or else they're going to come around you to see what you're doing. I understand that's why I understand everybody comes to I today. I never go to anybody else because I have so much value. I have so much information. Because when I make 1,000,000 hours of videos to teach you something and you've got nothing to teach me, I understand that I never run to you. You run to the information though. You run to the 1,000,000 hours of videos that I have that's going to teach you something, or else that's called business. Or else if you want to be a public speaker today, you have to understand to run to the information I have. I understand that these two gentlemen are going to be somebody. I understand every single day, you just honestly see that for yourself right now. I understand I'm honest about that. I understand either way, I understand many people don't even come to see my name because they are very much thinking about it. You understand, you guys got nothing to think about. I understand either way, that when you don't think about something, you just understand your I. You have to understand that I is something that I love. I understand when I go I every single day, I go and teach myself everything. I'm a fashion model. I'm also a life coach. I'm also a vegan. I teach you how to do veganism. I teach you to help everybody in your life. I understand when I do that, I lift people every single day. I understand I'm always something much more fashionable. I understand you stay off the drugs every single day and be sober. I understand it's not about the nightclubs and it's not about chasing women. I understand what it's about is loving yourself all day long. I understand when I love myself all day long, I make more common sense every single day to go and look around. I understand when I look around, I see I see there's nothing to think about. I understand that in this video, I don't think about anything other than what? I don't think about anything. I just go back to the I. I'll go and start a new sentence with my I today. I now will say, I understand my sentence. I love you. I go and start my sentence with I again. I understand. I can always understand because. I understand now when I speak something, I always have a nice beautiful language. I thank you. Or else every single day, I understand to gentleman over here just came to get my nice beautiful Instagram. You understand? Because guess what? I realize they are going to be famous. You understand? I teach them a lot. I understand either way that I go and grow. I go and grow daily. I go and make sure that everybody around me in terms of my life has I. I understand when I have I every single day, I go and perform and perform and perform something of greatness. I understand that if you want to give a TED Talk, you have to give a TED Talk 50 million times. And not just on the TED Talk show. I mean, this is a TED Talk. I mean, everything is a TED Talk in my life. Understand? Because what's a TED Talk is I. I understand every single day, I don't need to qualify for you. I've already qualified for I. I've already qualified for I. I understand every single day I go and abbreviate more. I go and do something more every single day. I go and perform something of a high speech quality every single day. And I focus on my life. I focus on my life because I understand my life is going up. I understand it's only going up because I never cut the I. I love you. I use the I in every single sentence. I use it again. I use it again. I use it again. I use the I again. I start always with the I. I can speak I all day long. I understand that's what makes your career great. I understand you don't start a sentence in any other format except for I. You can start also understanding the IUQ rule now. IUQ is 3 letters in one, which is I. Alright, now it's all simplified into I. I understand, I use the IUQ rule because I use the U in action. You must understand. You are because of this. You must understand that when I teach you something, you understand? I can start with the U. I can start with the I. I understand the question, which is the Q. I can ask questions. IUQ rule. You understand? I can say IUQ rule because the first letter is I. I understand when I go on Instagram, for example, I go and put 10 lots of 10 into my nice beautiful Instagram, which is 100 photos of I. I understand I have to organize 10 lots of 10. In 10 albums, or in 10 albums, I have 10 photos. I then have to go and upload 10 photos at a time. And I do it 10 times to make 100 photos in my Instagram story. I go and label my nice little albums. I say I1, I. I2, I. I3, I. I4, I. You understand? I put I. I put the letter I. I would then put 1. And then I put the letter I again. Why do I do that? Because I simplify the 1 into I. Otherwise, if I say I1, I'm then number 1. Otherwise, if I say I26, I then became 26. You understand? Otherwise, I26I. Otherwise, what am I now? I'm I now. I'm not 26 anymore. You understand? Because I simplified the 26 into the I. Otherwise, there's 27 letters in the alphabet. Otherwise, now, there's only 1 letter in the alphabet. I. Otherwise, now I don't have to sing that alphabet anymore. I can go I. You understand? Otherwise, that's my alphabet now. I made up a new alphabet. Otherwise, it doesn't start with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, and Q, R, S, and T, U, V, and W, X, and Y, Z. I could say that's not my alphabet. You understand? Because the world doesn't start with A. Otherwise, the world starts with I. Get your facts straight. You have to understand that either way, the fact is I. Otherwise, a statistic is I. You understand? Otherwise, now, we're connecting words, aren't we? Otherwise, every single word in the dictionary is I. I simplified the whole dictionary into I. What else is there to learn but I? Otherwise, there's nothing else to learn in life except I. Otherwise, there's nothing else to learn except I. So speak from the I first. You understand? Where are you going to start learning? You start from I. You start teaching from I. You don't start teaching from any other word in the dictionary except I. You don't say any other word first except I. You can also say IUQ rule. You can start with the U and the question. I start with I because I understand that even the IUQ rule is I, simplified into I. You understand? Because anything that's an IUQ rule has I first. IUQ rule. Otherwise, it's not UIQ rule. IUQ rule. I7I. I-10, I-26, I-pizza, I-pizza, I-leg, I. You understand? I simplified the leg into an I-happy, I love, I tree, I. You understand? I simplify the tree because I'm not the tree. I am I. I go back to the I again. I plus I. I minus I. I mean, why would I minus I? I plus the I only. I mean, how can I minus the I? I mean, to minus anything in life is to take away. You can never minus it. You can never minus your I. You can only plus your I. I plus my I. I never minus my I. I am never a minus. I'm a plus. I'm a surplus. I am better than A++. I over A++. Otherwise, if you got anything to give me on the test paper, you say I. I is the best format. You understand? You don't put an F. You never put an F on a test paper. You never put a C. You never put a D. You never put an E. You never put an E minus. I mean, what is that? I mean, how do you know that it's an E minus? I mean, how do you know in life? I mean, what are you supposed to know in life? Are you supposed to know a C minus? Because if you give somebody a C minus, you become a C minus. Otherwise, if I say that you're an F and you're a failure, otherwise that's what I call I there. Otherwise, I call myself that then. You're not a failure because you're I today. I makes more sense. I understand that when I go into my nice beautiful school where all my children are. I say, everybody here is I. I'll teach you something now. I start to write on the whiteboard. I love I. I know I. I love you. You understand the lesson? I say, yes, sir. I say, yes. You guys can go now. You understand life? You understand? I say, that's the school of life. You understand the test paper? I mean, what's the test paper there? I is a test paper. You understand? You only need 12 years of high school and 12 years of public school and 12 years of primary school to understand your I. Whereas everything else is a facade. I mean, they're trying to make you go somewhere. I mean, they're trying to make you go to the general public school with other kids who are the crowd who don't know the I. You understand where I grew up? I grew up with people who don't even know the I. You understand? Or else this guy's giving me an F. Or else this guy gives me an 8 out of 100. Or else that's what he is. Or else when I give you a 1 out of 100, or else that you a 1 out of 100. Or else you have to understand, that makes me 1 out of 100. Or else if I give you 100 out of 100, or else then I am 100 out of 100. Or else the only score I'll give you is I today. I mean, that is all the numbers in the world. Or else I is everything. I is the best number. Or else I is the best love. I is the best everything. I is the dog. I is the cat. You understand? I is everything. Because I understand I is all the words. I simplify all the words into I. I understand now I never have to think about it. I never have to think. I mean, what word in my life do I have right now? I. I is always the first word I have. I never lose the I. I mean, in 1 hour from now, I mean, what letter's in my mind? I. I mean, in 24 hours from now, I mean, what letter will be? I never think about the letter. I realize now. You never think about anything. You have to understand. You never say that you think. You never think about it. I understand. In 24 hours time, or what letter do I have? I. I mean, in 10 years time, what am I saying? I'll be saying I. I never think about saying the I. I never think about saying the I. You can never think about saying anything. Or else if you have to think to say something, or else it's because you're missing your I. You don't think about walking, do you? You just walk. You never think about the I either. You just say, I love you. I never hurt anything. Because how can I hurt anything? I never hurts anything. I'll place an I on the floor here. I'll write a little I. I mean, how can an I hurt you? You understand? I mean, a little small I. I understand in Cairns, I realize this woman, says, I go for muscle. I mean, she goes for muscle. I understand you in life. I understand I got something better than you anyway. You understand? Or else she goes for the muscle. I'll go for I in life. I'll go for I. I mean, she goes for flesh and skin. I mean, she goes for pleasure. I mean, she goes for the portable speaker too because she goes for the muscle. You understand? Or else the portable speaker is a muscle. Or else the portrait I have here is a muscle. Or else the portrait is a tree. Or else the cable here is a dog. Understand? I mean, how? Because I know the I. I know the I. I am all this. I am the portrait. I am the portable speaker. I am everything. I is everything. Or else when I is everything, I mean, what else is or else what is it? I mean, what is it to learn then? I mean, what else do you learn when you know I? You just know I, and that's that. I mean, that's the school of life. Or else once you know your I, you know everything in I. Or else I is everything. I mean, there's nothing else to learn except I. Or else the only teaching that you have to understand, that you have to understand to know, is I. You don't know the cat. You don't know the cat. You don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know the tree. You don't know this life. You don't know the floor. You don't know anything other than I. I is the only aspect of life you must know. Or else when you know I, you'll then find out what the tree of knowledge is. You then understand, when you know I, what the Bible is. Or else then you understand, when you know I, you understand how to make music, and how to talk, and how to communicate, and how to learn fast, and how to speed read, and how to get any woman you want. Or else just know your I. I understand it's not about getting a woman, or else it's about getting yourself. I never chase women. I don't need to chase women. I chase I today. I go I. I love I. I love I so much I never have to chase women. Or else if Jesus chased women, or else Jesus never chases women. Because Jesus understands that if Jesus chases a woman, or else Jesus gets lost in a woman. Or else, then who does Jesus become? Or else Jesus becomes a woman. I mean, what do you chase a woman for? You don't chase a woman. You don't chase a man either. Or else if you chase a man, you become a man. You go I. You chase the I, you become I. I is even better than man and woman. I is a man, I is a woman. I is not a man, I is not a woman. You understand? Or, I mean, how about that? Or else I is a man, I is a woman. I is not a man, I is not a woman. I can be a dog. I can be a non-human animal as well. I is also not a, or else I is also not a non-human animal. Or else that's 6 already. I mean, what else? I is the air. I is not the air. I is not the silence. I is also the silence. I is the yin and yang of life. I is not even the yin and yang. I mean, what am I now? I'm neither. I'm neither the yin and yang. I'm also the yin and yang. I don't even have to be the yin and yang. I can just go, I, where? I is the only word that I am. I is what I am. You cannot say that you are not I. You must know your I. Understand when I know my I understand that there's no other word in the dictionary that can explain who I am except I. You know who I am. I am who I am. I. I'm I. I'm I. I understand that's the only word I am. I realize that's who everybody is every single day. I understand that's what I teach every single day. I understand I simplify everything into the I. You understand the contradiction of life. I understand Osho speaks about this in terms of, what are you? I mean, are you the chicken or the dog? I mean, you're not the chicken and not the dog either. You're I. You're I only. Or else there's nothing else that you are except I. I mean, what do you choose to be in the dictionary today? I mean, there's one letter though. I understand I is who I am. I'm not a dog. I'm not a cat. I'm not excellent. I'm not negative. I'm not a prostitute. I'm not a killer. I'm not a murderer. I mean, what else is in the dictionary? I'm not a serial killer. I'm not a psychopath. I'm not a psychology type of expert. I'm not a student of life. I'm just I. I'm just I today. Or else, what else can you be in the dictionary? I mean, do you want to be a cat? I mean, I'm I. I'm I. I'm I. Or else, that's the only word I am in the dictionary. You can find me straight away. I mean, just go to the I section. You understand? Or else, I mean, what else can you be? I mean, what can you label yourself as in the dictionary? I is the only word. I mean, what do you want to be when you grow up? I. Or else they say police officer. I said I want to be a police officer when I grow up. I said I grew up. I say I want to be I now. I want to be I. I just want to be I. I don't want to be a police officer. I want to be I. I is very important. I mean, what's a police officer? I don't even know what a police officer is. Or else that's all made up. Or else some people want to be a prime minister. I mean, why do you want to be a prime minister? I mean, why don't you be I? I mean, why don't you be yourself? I mean, why? I mean, some people want to grow up like a cat. I mean, they actually get into a cat costume and they actually tattoo themselves as cats. Or else they start walking around like transsexuals as well. I mean, they want to be a transsexual. I mean, what's that? I say that's not I. You understand? I is everything. I can be a transsexual too. I can be everything. You understand? Although, understand to never miss the I. Or else if you're a transsexual and you have no I, you become a killer of a psychopath who is a transsexual. I understand that. I understand if you don't use the I today, or else if you go to the mirror today and you don't use the I, you understand why you're fake. You understand to go in the mirror today and say, I love you. Or else now, or else if you go to the mirror and you don't say the I, but you say, love you, you sound like a psychopath. You don't even sound yourself anymore because you don't even use the I. You understand? Or else then you become fake and you become out of control. Or else anybody who stabs you or kills you is one who doesn't have an I. Or else if I go to the mirror and I say to my face, love you, I say I love you. I don't say love you, I say I love you. I mean, where's the I? I is very important. I abbreviate that I every single day. I use it. I use it and I abuse the I. I never chase anything in my life except I. I understand that's where I go every single day. I go where the I is. I have a nice beautiful entertainment show going over here. I understand when I go and do an entertainment show over here, I understand I have my I in place. I understand I go and do something much more. I understand I give a nice beautiful talk every single day. I understand when I give a talk every single day, I go and do something of leadership quality every single day. I understand that's why I have my I. I have my I always. I never have to impress anybody. I only impress I today. I understand I just have my I have my I. I don't have myself, I have my I. I don't use the word my. I don't use the word myself. I use I for that. I is much more important than I, me, and myself. You understand? I is only. I is everything. I first. I mean, what am I speaking in this video every single day? I. I is the abbreviation of life. I is everything of the grammar and literature that you have to understand. Otherwise, if you want to learn English, you just learn one letter. I. I love you. You understand? You learn one letter. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's English class. I mean, my kids come to my class today. I mean, I get them to sit down. Otherwise, what's the rule over here? I write the letter I on the. I write the letter I today. Do you guys and ladies and gentlemen understand what this is? I. You can go now. You don't say yes. You don't say no. Because when you say I, or else when I ask you, do you understand what this letter I is? And you say yes, you miss the I completely. Or else if I ask you again, I mean, what is this letter I on the board? And you say, what? You say I. Or else now, if I ask you, do you understand what this letter I is? And you say no, you miss the I completely again. Or else if I say, what is this? You say I. I mean, you're free to go now. You understand yourself now. You understand? Or else if I understand, I ask you a nice beautiful trick question. I say, do you understand what this letter word is? You don't say yes, you don't say no, you say I. I understand, now you understand me. Or else you don't say yes. You don't reply yes. You don't reply no. I first. I first. Always. I say that's my class for English. And as soon as you say that, I give you the certificate that you finish high school in English. Understand mathematics? I'll be a mathematics teacher as well. I understand it goes 6 years to become a mathematics teacher today. Alright, now. Alright, you guys and girls love mathematics. I understand I'll write one word on the nice beautiful white pavement over here. I. Do you understand this word? I mean, you're free to go. You're free to go then, because if you answer yes or no, you miss your I completely. Understand, that's my math class. I realize that's my science class. I realize that's my English class. I realize that's your high school certificate in Australia. I realize that's your high school certificate. I realize that's your diploma. I realize that's your university degree. You understand? I realize everything else is a facade and bullshit. You understand? I realize they go and teach me. I realize they're teaching me the times tables over there. I realize what's 9 times 9? I mean, what's 50, 100 times 5,000? I is the answer for every times table in the planet. I mean, what's 50 billion times 543? I simplified it to I. I was going to say wrong. I mean, why would you even say wrong in the first place? You say, I'm not wrong. I mean, they're already calling themselves wrong. Otherwise, if you say wrong, otherwise then you become wrong. Otherwise, if you become I, otherwise you say I became I, didn't I? Otherwise, the first word out of your mouth must be I. You understand? You don't say cat, or as if you say cat, you become the cat. Or as the cat is not the first word of God. I is the first word of God. I. Or as if you want to pass the exam of School of Life, you put the I on the board and be that only. You don't label yourself anything else other than I today. Or else that's my School of Life lesson in this nice beautiful video. But guess what? I continue. Because I love to do more. I love to be extra. Otherwise, extra and extra. Otherwise, you must read all about it. You must come to my YouTube. You must read all about it because it's extra, extra. You understand? Understand extra? Understand I'm that kid. I'm that kid in I because I understand who that is. I understand it's I who said that. I say extra, extra. I say you must read all about it. I say I've got thousands of hours of video content to teach you something. I have something to teach you, man. Or else they don't want to be billionaires. Or else they don't want to understand the I. You understand? Or else they just walk away. Or else walk away. Understand? Or else the best way to walk away from violence is just that. You say I love I so much I'll never hit you. I love I so much I'll never shoot you. You want to touch me, I'll never touch you either. Or else why do you want to touch other people? Or else because you want to get attached to them in terms of I mean, if I start grabbing your woman by the ass, or else that means I need to have sex with her. You understand? I never need to have sex with her. I never need to touch her in the first place. You understand? I understand the crowd says wrong, or else there's nothing wrong about that. Or else understand this, I never had to touch her in the first place. Or else she can touch me in terms of my eye. You understand? Or else what's an ass? Or else ass clown, or else asshole, or else that's all I. I is everything. I mean, what is the actual meaning of life? I is very important. I'm very good, how are you? You can be on the microphone.
I'm on a pension, but I can't. Can you spare any money for food?
I can speak in my eye though. I can say I love you.
Oh, I've got no money. I'm hungry.
Or else what you have to understand is I love you though. I thank you. I understand either way. I understand this gentleman's asking me for some 2 cents or something. I understand. I say I love you. I love you. I realize that's all the money in the world. You understand? I don't give people money. I give them my love you. I mean, grow up. You understand? I mean, understand every single day, when you ask me for some money, I'll say I love you. I've got so much more than that. I could have led him to my nice beautiful Instagram, but guess what? Otherwise he's not even interested to see my Instagram. You understand? Otherwise, what for? I have my Instagram here ready to promote. Otherwise the guy doesn't want to see my Instagram. You understand? Otherwise, it's free. I mean, you want to understand who I am? Otherwise, the guy just wants to get some money from me, man. I mean, the guy just wants to make 2 cents on me. You understand? Or else the guy's not interested about me, or else he's interested about my possessions, or else he wants a phone, or else he wants something, but he doesn't want to come to the information that I have. You understand? Or else the guy's heartless, or else the guy doesn't have any empathy, or else the guy's too selfish. I mean, that's called selfishness. I mean, I come to your house, I grab all your stuff, and I take it away from you, and I don't give you anything. Or else that's what that homeless gentleman asked me just now, in terms of my eye. I understand he just wants to steal everything from me, or else he wants to steal everything from me in terms of my eye. I say, I love you. You never steal my eye away. I'm everything. I'm every single day putting that letter I into my fruition. I understand I is very important. I understand when I have I every single day, I understand I grow up, I'm mature, I love I'm excellent, I'm everything, I'm positive, I'm confident, I'm self-love, I'm very much more than yesterday, every single day, because I film myself, I record myself, and you have the audio program here. You have a nice beautiful setting over here. I have a nice beautiful center point tower over here. Or else, is it really a center point tower? Or else it's not really labeled that, or I call it the center point tower. Or else that one right here. You understand? Because what is that? I don't know what that is. I know I can say that's I up there. Or else that's I. Or else that's how I look. I understand that what I is everything. Or else I label everything I today. I just see I today. I see this whole nice beautiful imagination today, which is I. Or else it's not even called an imagination. Or else every single word in the dictionary must be connected to the I. I understand I is how you process life. I understand if you want to communicate and if you want to be simple about it, you go and connect the I together. I understand many people are not interested in what I have to say. But guess what? I understand I win anyway. Or else that when you're not interested in what I have, or else if you're not interested in what I have to say, you don't deserve the thousands of hours I have in material, in content, in terms of my information. Or else if you don't deserve it, or else you'll never even come and see it. You understand? Or else if you just walk away from thousands of hours of free knowledge, I mean, you never deserve this, man. You never deserve it. You understand? Or else if you deserve it, you'll be these 2 little kids who came up to I, who are I. Or else those kids love I. You understand? I am I. You understand? Or else they came to see what this gentleman is doing in terms of my eye. Or else they're very important. Or else they are learners. Or else they really want to learn. Or else they really want to be something in life. Or else these guys who are 26 and 55, I mean, these little boys coming to see my Instagram. Or else they're mature. I mean, they're adults. I mean, they don't even want to see information. I mean, they're jealous. You understand? Or else they don't like me. I see they're thinking too much. I understand these little 2 boys that came to watch I today. I understand I gave them some nice, beautiful inspiration. I understand 2 people came to see my Instagram in 1 hour. I understand. Or else 2 people. Or else what is people today? I is people. I is everything. I understand when I speak I all day long, I always have something more to say. I always have something more to be. I never have to run to people. I just go and make my content daily. I go to Marketplace, I walk 30 minutes here. I just play my music. Or else on the way back to my Q Space Hotel, I go and sing. I go and sing something. You have to understand, every single day I'm singing. I'm singing my I. I've always got something more to say, you understand? Because I understand that what's important today is my I. I understand that what I have today is only I. I have nothing else except I. I believe in reincarnation. I believe that when you die, you will be raised, like Jesus Christ said, and you will live in eternity. And where is eternity? I. Because it's not now, or else I is now. I is eternity. I believe in I so much that I can never be killed. I can never be killed. I'm untouchable. You understand? Or else when they want to touch me, I say, I never touch you, man. I never touch you. I'm untouchable. You understand? I'm so confident I never need to touch you anymore. Or else why would I touch somebody I just met? I mean, what for? I don't need you in my life. I don't need to touch you. Or else if I have to touch you, I need some comfort from you then. I don't need comfort from you, man. I mean, get away from me. You understand? Alright, now, everything I said in this video, I mean, what did I say in this video? I is all I said. You understand? Because I simplify the thousands of words that I said in this video into I. I said one word only. I said one word, which is I. You understand? Whereas now, the whole video is simplified into I. I never have to think about what I said anymore. You understand? I never have to think about it. I never have to think about what the dog is. I never have to think about what this world is anymore. I understand it's I. Whereas now, when it's I mean, let's start teaching now what the world is. I mean, what else is there to teach but I? You understand? Whereas when you understand who you are, in terms of your I, you understand everything is I. You don't think about what the world is. You just think about nothing except I. Whereas now, when you understand who you are, you say I. Whereas now, are you able to think about the I? You can think about the I. You can think about the I. But guess what? You understand your I today. Whereas I is all you understand. Understand when you think about I, you say I. You have to do the I. You have to do it. Whereas to think something is to do it. So what can you do today? You can do I. I is what you do. I is all day long. You understand? I never have to think about my I though. I just say it. I never have to think about it. I mean, how do you think about the I? You don't think about it. Whereas now, if I have to think about the I then never say it. You understand? I never have to think about it. Although thinking in this term can be said, in terms of can be said that you're using the I. Whereas thinking is also doing. Whereas thinking is me doing it now, in terms of my I. I'm thinking about all this. I'm thinking to give you my I. I already gave it to you. I'm thinking that in the next 5 minutes, I'll still be using my I. I'm thinking and making sure that in 50 years' time, I'm still having my I in my place, in terms of my I. You understand? I'm understanding that for the next 50 years, or else every single word out of my mouth is I. I can think about that. I can think to say I. I can just say it. Whereas now, because I can just say it, I never have to think about it. I never have to think about the I. I just say the I. I mean, I. You don't say mama. You say, I see mama. You don't say tata. You don't say tata. You say, I see tata. You don't say baba. You say, I see baba. You don't say deda. I see deda. I love you. You understand? I understand that's very important. I understand when I grow up much more, I understand I always have to grow up. I always have to learn something more, man. Otherwise, that's how I am. I have to learn more. I understand I'll reach 100 years of age and I have to learn more, man. I always have to learn more about who I am. I understand I is who I am for the next 100 years and more. I is everything. I can die today. I understand my I. I'm very happy to die today. I'm very happy to die today because I understand who I am. I understand I'm born again. I understand I go and I can go into another form. I can go transform myself into another form. I don't have to be a human being anymore. I can be a dog. I can be a lion. I can be a snake. I can be whatever I want. There's many life paths in this world. I could be a tree. I can be a tree. I can be the tile. I can be whatever I want. I understand who I am. I know my I. I understand when I grow up more and more. I understand I use the I every single day. I understand don't cut your eye out, as Jesus says. You understand? I understand that's what's very important every single day. You just make sure you grow up. You have to grow up. I have to grow up. Or else everything has to grow up. I understand when you're growing, or else you're not dying. I understand everything is right now. But I'm at the beginning of the millennial. I'm at the beginning of the 2000th century. You understand? Or else this is the 2000th century. You understand? Or else they call it the 20th century. I'm saying it's not the 20th century, or else it's the 2000th century. You understand? Or else now it's just I too. Or else everything's just I. I don't even care about what century it is. I just understand it's I. I understand that what letter is the most important in the alphabet is I. I for insect, I for an idea, I love you, or else I. I. I'm just growing up every single day. I'm always doing more. I'm more favorable. I'm making sure that what I understand what you're doing. I understand you're doing I today. I understand everything is I. I understand the silence is I. I understand she's looking at I today. I understand when they look at you, I understand they're looking at I today. I never have to think about what they're thinking. You don't think about what other people are thinking, because what they're thinking is I. You understand? Or else that's the only letter of the world. Or else there's no other letter than I. I understand when I go and grow up more, I understand I go and teach all the simplification methods, because I understand that when they have somebody, I understand they have I. I understand that when they're going with other people, I understand they're going with I today. Or else that's all I here. Or else everything's I. I understand when there's 3 kids and a human being, in terms of an adult with the 3 kids, I understand they're taking I today somewhere. I understand the kids are running with I. You understand? Or else the mum and dad is I. I understand I see the mum and dad with 5 kids. I understand that's just I. I simplified the 5 kids and the mum and dad into I. I never have to think about who they are. I never have to think about their names anymore. Or else they all label themselves as different names, but I understand who they are. I understand they're I. I don't have to think about who they are. I understand I never think about it. I just understand everything is I. You understand? I mean, when you name a dog Danny Milivojevic, I understand, is the dog Danny Milivojevic really? I mean, you just put a label on him. You understand? Or is it he or she? You don't know that, man. You don't know what that is. You don't know that. You don't know if I'm a man or a woman. I mean, how do you know if I'm a man? I mean, how do you know I'm a man? I mean, how do you know I'm a woman? I mean, how do you know what I am? I'm I. You cannot label me except I. You don't know what I am. You don't know what I am. Or else that's not a kid. Or else that's I. I'm not a man. I'm not a woman. You cannot label me as man. You cannot label me as a woman. You cannot label me as a giraffe. You can label me as I today. You could say I am I. You understand? You cannot label anything of this world as man or woman. As if you say woman, you become a woman. Or as if you say man, you become a man. Or as if you say no, you become no. Or as if you say yes, you become yes. I am no and yes at the same time. I am the yin and yang at the same time. I am evil and good at the same time. I mean, I am just I. I am I. I am both aspects of life and neither aspects of life. You understand? I am everything. I am what you cannot see. I am something that you see as well. I am something that I never think about. I am also something that I think about. You understand? Or is that what I think about all day long is I. Or else if you want to grow up and rich in terms of life, or else if you want to grow up and think rich, like Napoleon, or else if you want to grow up and think rich like Napoleon Hill, you just say his book is I. Or else what is the Bible today? I. I mean, the richest book in the planet is one that does more. I mean, who said the richest book is Bible? I mean, who said that the richest book in the planet is Bible of God? I mean, who said the richest book of the planet is the Bible of God? I mean, Jesus said, you can outdo me. You can do more than I. You understand? You can do more work than the Bible. I mean, just write more. I mean, just write more. I mean, I already wrote more than the Bible. I already teach more than the Bible. You understand? I teach more. I'm entrepreneurship, man. I've got some nice business. I teach a lot of stuff. I teach something. You understand? Or else life is not how hard you hit. Or else life is how hard you get hit and get back up. You understand? I understand that means just I. I understand I always simplify into a different manner. I understand I go and do something better than Rocky Balboa. I understand that I have a nice beautiful hat. Or else that's I. I'm wearing I today. I understand I have clothing. Or else it's not clothing. Or else it's I. I just wear I today. I wear I colors. I understand all the colors of the rainbow is I. I understand the clouds in the sky is I. I understand the star above my head over here is I. I understand every single day I've got something to say every single day. I understand there's always something new. I have a nice beautiful progression every single day. I have something new every single day. I understand I always do some content daily. I always have peace and quiet over here. I love peace and quiet. I have nice beautiful melodies going over here. I have a nice beautiful tone. I understand I always teach something for nothing. I never teach you nothing. Or else, what is I? I can be nothing as well. I can be nothing, I can be something. I give you something, I give you nothing too. Or else when I give you nothing, I give you something. Or else when I give you something, I give you nothing. Or else now I'll give you something. Or else now I'll give you nothing. I'm giving you nothing now. I'm just giving you ideas. I'm giving you whatever I choose to give you. I understand I just go and make sure I give something. Or else now, is it called something though? Or else it can be called, or else it can be called nothing too. Or else everything is everything. You understand? I'm always giving of my heart. I understand when I give you the business techniques, which is I mean, what are all the strategies of the world? I mean, what are all the business techniques? I mean, what do you have to know today? You have to know I. You have to know yourself. You understand? You have to know who I am. You have to know I every single day. I understand that's very important today. I understand when it's very important, you understand why it's so important to understand your life. I understand there's always something more different that I can speak about. I understand I'll go a different way. I'll go a different path. I understand I just go and put in the hours. I put in the hours, I communicate, because when I communicate more, I go and simplify more and I help more. I've got nothing better to do than I today. I understand there's always more silence to go around, and silence is I. I understand I'm always breathing, always making sure that everybody is accountable in terms of I. I'm going to simplify the I method. Every single strategy and coping mechanism that I have is I. I understand that everything else doesn't work for I today, except I. I work for I today. I understand when I work for something, I work for I, baby. I understand I go I every single day. I understand I've always got something to give. I understand I always go and give that leadership technique you need. I mean, what kind of leadership strategies do you need today? You need I the most. I mean, what is the only strategy of the world? I mean, what is the only leadership technique of the world? I is the only leadership technique. I understand I go and always ask more questions. I understand that when I see what my biological dad is doing right now, and my biological family and other people are doing I today. Or is there are other forms of I. Or is I is unlimited. I is in the galaxy up there. I is in the Mars. I is everywhere. You understand? I is something that exists. You have to use it. Or that's the only acupuncture of life, which is I. I understand when I go and use these words, I just go and connect the words together. I read the synonyms over and over again, every single day. Or every single day I'm reading these synonyms, I'm going and giving those skills, I'm giving the abbreviations every single day. I make sure I understand every single day that nothing can take away from I never give you plastic money, man. You're not worth plastic money. You're worth I. You're worth I love you. You're worth an I love you only. You understand? You're worth I saying I love you, and that's that. I understand? That's all you're worth. Or else everything in life is just do it now. I understand when you do it now, you do something much greater. You understand every single day I'll go different paths, I'll go a different way, I'll try something new. I understand when I go without the crowd, I understand I learn something new without the crowd. Or as I left the crowd, I start to public speak. I left the crowd. Or as they're in public speak. Or as the public speakers of the world are people who don't do the crowd. Or as they don't follow the crowd, because the crowd just follows the crowd. Or as if the crowd believes that a donkey is nice, or as that they all say the donkey is nice. You understand? Or as everything is nice. I understand that, but I understand the crowd is not the way. I understand everything is nice. I understand every single day I always got something more to say. I've always got something more to give. I understand I never follow the crowd. I understand every single day I've always got more potential. I've always got more synonyms. I've always got something more. You guys can always check out my Instagram over here and my YouTube channel. I understand I always have more over here going. I understand every single day I'll go and perform. I perform on the street. I do some peak performance every single day. I understand every single day I go and do a toppling of I every single day. I understand I go and put the chocolate, I put hot chocolate on I put ice cream on I put the pizza on I put a nice beautiful dictionary, I put it in I I get the dog, I put it in I. I love you. I love everything. Understand? I don't hate anything other than I. I never even hate I today. I love I. I love I so much that I never hate I. I can always change up my words. I can change up my words in a different manner. I can change up what I say every single day. I understand an idea is something that I love. I understand when I put everything into the I simplify it. I simplify the I simplify who you are into the I understand there's only one movement today, and it's called I understand that there's many people walking this way and many people walking that way. But guess what? Otherwise, everybody's going in the I movement. Otherwise, I understand that everybody today who's walking the planet is walking one way, and that's I. Otherwise, some people are trying to cut their I off. I understand that. Otherwise, they don't believe in I. Otherwise, if you don't believe in I, otherwise it means you don't believe in yourself. I believe in I so much that every single sentence I speak out is different. I'm not here to impress you, I'm here to lift you. Otherwise, if you're not interested in myself lifting you, otherwise now you have to understand I'm always doing something greater. I'm always understanding there's always something more. I understand that whatever's happening around me is I. I simplify each and every single life step that I have in a different manner and in a different aspect of life. I go I every single day. I understand that's why I'm always much more. I understand I use the I use the abbreviation of life. I go to speak the I speak it so much that I have something to give you. I have an idea. I have integrity. I have my inner world. I understand that IO passed away recently. I understand I is inner world and O is outer world. I understand most of the world wants to live outside of themselves. I understand when that happens, they commit suicide. I understand the inner world is where you never commit suicide. So you stick to the inner world and you never do the drugs and you never commit suicide. Whereas the drugs is not part of you. I understand that when you go and do what other people want to do, whereas that's when you're following the crowd. You go do what you want to do. I go do what I want to do today. Because the crowd doesn't want me to do this. I mean, did you guys tell me to come and public speak today? You didn't do that. I understand that's the crowd that never wants you to do the public speaking in the first place. Or else they never motivate you. I just motivate I to come here today. You understand? Because the crowd doesn't want me to do this. Or else they didn't do it for me in terms of my I. I mean, how can you do this for me in terms of my I? Or else I need you to go and public speak. I'll say this, I need you guys to go and public speak. I need you to look at my example and come and public speak too. I can interview as well. I can interview you, I can also make sure every single day I progress forward. I understand that's what I do every single day. I understand that pleasure in terms of food and drink is not the way to go. I understand you're not the food and drink that you eat, you're I. I understand that everything you ever need in life is I. I understand I always simplify that. I simplify in a different manner. I do something differently every single day. I understand there's always something more to say every single day. I understand every single day I perform at Martin Place. I understand this is not even Martin Place. I say this whole area is I. Or else that Sydney is not Sydney. Or else Sydney is I. Or else Brisbane is I. I understand Australia is not Australia. Or else Australia is I. I mean, why do I say I? Because I love you. I know my I. I know who I am daily. I know what I do in terms of my I. I only know my I today. Or else every single area of Australia is I. I mean, how many areas do you know in life? You don't know any areas except I. I is the only aspect of life you have to know. Or else that's the only simplification. I understand every single day I speak to I understand that many people love to name this street Pitt Street. And they love to say Martin Place. Or else it's not Martin. I mean, how much do you want to remember, man? I mean, how many labels have Australia got in terms of life? I is only one label. I mean, I is one, but I is I. I see one is I. You have to understand that labeling life is only life in terms of I. Or else labeling life in terms of I is life. I understand everything is I. I understand when I go back to the I all the time, I always understand that Australia has many labels and many streets of life that you can name differently other than the I. I understand then the woman says, I don't even remember what that street is. I mean, it's just I. I is the name of the street. Because I is simplification of what that street is. Because the dog is not a dog. Or else that's what you just put on the, in terms of, or else the dog is just a label. Or else that dog is I. Or else you are I. Or else that tree is I. I understand the sky is I. Or else that's not called the sky. I say that's I. Understand the star? Or else that's not called a star. Or else it's I. Understand, everything's I. You understand? Understand, I is very important because you don't say love you, you say I love you. Understand my eye, because Jesus says don't cut your eye out. Understand, I never cut the eye out in my life. Understand, every single sentence I finish off with and start with is my eye. I never start with the cat. I start with I. I mean, the only letter of the dictionary that I am in life is I. I mean, what do you label yourself in the dictionary today? I say I'm the I in the dictionary. I mean, that's the only label I put on myself. I mean, what other label is there? I understand that when you look at the dictionary, or there's thousands of words there. I mean, there's so much thinking going on. I mean, who am I? I. I'm I. I mean, that's it. I'm not the cat. I'm not the dog. I'm not the murderer. I'm not the psychopath. I'm not the psychologist. I'm I. I is very simple. I mean, what is the Bible today? I. I mean, what is knowledge? I. I mean, what question do you have? I mean, whatever question you have, I is the answer. I is the first answer. I is first. I must put myself first. I must understand that I comes first. I comes before the sentence. I becomes everything in the moment. I understand when I go present moment awareness, I understand my I. I understand I've got nothing else to label in life except I. I understand when I go and label anything in life, I label I. I understand what's going on around Australia today. I mean, that's it. I mean, there's no thinking involved. Or is that some people actually go into this wonderland of thinking about what's going on around Australia. And they say, these people are having sex, but I don't know their names. And then they're going around this place over here and doing this. Or they're talking too much. You understand? Or there's too much thinking about what are they doing. Or if I have to think about you, or I may go, you're probably going to the swimming pool today, and you're going to go love somebody, and then when you love somebody, you're going to go and have more sex. And when you have more sex, you're going to go to the drugs. And when you go to the drugs, you'll maybe go and do something nice. Or when you go do something nice, you may go do something much more poor. Or when you go that way, I understand you go this way. Or when you go this way, I mean, how much do you want to think about it? I mean, how much do you want to think about what other people are doing? I mean, what are other people doing? I mean, that's it. I mean, stop the thinking about it. I mean, stop thinking about what other people are doing. I is what they're doing. I never have to think about them anymore. I can go forever thinking about what you're doing. I understand what you're doing. I is what you're doing. I'll go do I now. You understand? I cut off the thinking. Whereas if I have to think about you over and over and over again, I mean, I then cut the I out. You understand? I mean, I get lost in what you're doing. I then miss the whole point of life. Whereas the whole point of life is not what they're doing, and it's not what you're doing. Whereas now, the whole point of life is I. I mean the I word. I mean the I letter. I for integrity. I mean, stick to I. You understand? I is everything. I understand when I talk about I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to think about what they're doing. I understand they're doing I today. I mean, that's that. I never have to think about it anymore. I mean, why would I think about it? I understand what they're doing. I mean, if they're not doing I mean, they're doing somebody else then. I mean, when they're doing somebody else, I mean, or they're going to commit suicide. I is what they're doing. I mean, what are they doing in America today? I mean, it's either I or not I. I promise you they're doing I today because they're still living a life. I promise you, if you're still living this life, you're still doing I. I promise you, as soon as you cut the I out, you also kill yourself. I understand what you're doing today. You're doing I because you speak the I. You speak that I letter today. I promise you. I promise you, if you don't speak the I letter in terms of I insect and I idea, I love you, I promise you, if you don't use the I word today, you're dead. You die so quick. Or else all you have to do in life to die is lose the I. I mean, don't even use it. I was on the bed recently. I was on the bed 7 months ago in Sydney. I tried to cut the I off. I started shaking. You understand? Or else what comes after the I? I can say nothing. Or else it's just nothing. Or else it's peace. Or else it's something that it's something that you don't even have to speak about it anymore. You understand? Or else it's called silence. So when you don't speak and you just listen, and you're not thinking about it, or else that's what comes after the I. You understand? Or else now, when I have a moment of silence, or else that's what comes after the I. You understand? Or else that's pure bliss. Or else it's nice and or else it's nice and pleasant. You understand? Well, you don't have to talk sometimes. Or else when you're sleeping, are you talking? I talk in my sleep. I say in my sleep, I have to do this. I have to do that. I mean, the whole night, I'm sleeping and I start with the I sentence first. You understand? I'm always starting I sleep, I dream of something. I see that's me. I see this guy wants to hit me. I understand what that is. I can imagine that pigeon. I was like, that's how I sleep. I sleep like that. I'm always speaking the I as I sleep. I understand. I can see this. I remember her. You understand? I speak like that in my nice beautiful sleep. And I plan as I sleep. I understand, I strategize. I realize when I sleep, I realize I have to wake up. I have to go to town hall. I'll do 2 hours. I start really planning while I'm sleeping. You understand? I start with the I all the time. I understand every single day I'm always doing that. I'm always making sure I have peace and quiet. I have nobody else around I except I. Or else, for example, I used to be that type of guy who goes on Messenger to see if you see my message. Or else now, you understand that that is I. Or else you are I. I understand if everything is I understand why do I have to go see if I see I message? I mean, why do I have to see if you check my message? You are I. I is everything. You understand? Alright, now, I understand that when you are not replying, I understand you're doing I today. I understand I never have to check whether or not you see my message because I have my own I. I don't miss the I. I don't think about what you're doing. Whereas if I have to think about what you're doing, I'll then go check the messenger to see if you see my message or not. Because then I think about you over I. I never have to think about you because I think about I only. I never ever go to see whether or not you see my message or not. I never need you to promote me. I never need to say anything for other people to promote me in terms of my I. I never need them. I realize that this video is here for generations. I do this content regardless. I understand who I am. I understand I'm I. I'm the I principle. I'm the I rule. I rule this world. I rule the world. I rule it I rule this world whether you like it or not. I don't have to be a president of Australia. I'm already the president of Australia. I'm already governing Australia through my video. I make a 10-hour content video. I govern you for 10 hours. You understand? I'm already the president of Australia. I don't have to be qualified for the president of Australia. I don't have to be qualified for anybody except I. You understand? I'm always qualifying I. Or else if I have to go on Australia's Got Talent with other judges, or else they're going to go, damn. You understand? Or else that I never even go in the first place. You understand? Because I never have to qualify for them. Or else they want me to qualify for them. I never qualify for you, I qualify for I. I go where I go, I don't go where you go. Or else now, if Australia's Got Talent calls me to come and do a performance, I'll come and do a performance. I'll never go there to get rejected. Or else if Australia's Got Talent wants me, I'll go there. Or else if Big Brother wants me to be on Big Brother, I'll be there. You understand? Because that's how business is done. When I need you, or else when I need you, I'll call you. Or else, I realize if I don't call you, I then don't understand life. I understand life in I only. I understand that if I don't call you, I understand it's because you don't intrigue me. I understand my I go back to the I again. You understand? Or else if you get lost in your communication, you are not using the I. Or else if you don't understand life, you don't understand I. Or else if you don't understand life, you don't understand how to say I love you. Or else it's either you can say I love you or not. Or else some people say I love you and then they don't understand life. I mean, how can you not understand life when you say I love you? I is first. You understand? Or else every single day I'm using the I sequence. I'm using I all the time. I'm using the I abbreviation all the time. I'm making sure every single day I always have that I going. I understand when I have an I going every single day, I'm always making sure I'm much more of a leader. I know I have a nice beautiful performance here. I give it. Why? I mean, what is your why today? I mean, is your why her or you? I am my why. I realize my wife is never my I. You understand? I mean, wow. I mean, big deal. You have a girlfriend. I have I know my I can say I love you. I love you regardless. I don't care if you have a girlfriend or not. I care about I don't care about your girlfriend. I don't care about your girlfriend. I care about I is everything. I understand when I go and lift people up, I don't lift the people. I lift I. You understand? I lift I today. I mean, am I lifting you today? You're just watching me. I'm giving you the knowledge. I'm motivating you today. Alright, now what have you done? You're just doing I today. You understand? I'm giving you the knowledge about what to do in life. I give the knowledge, you read up and read up and read up, because that's how you read up about you read up about Jesus' story too. You have to read. Or else if you don't read in life, you die. You have to read something. I give content that I read. I read my own content. I have my own conversations every single day. I'm always doing something for I. I'm doing this for I. I'm not doing it for you. I'm lifting I today. I'm not lifting you. I'm lifting my I. I'm lifting my confidence. I have a crowd around me. I mean, do you have a crowd? I have a crowd around me. I'm lifting I today. You're just reading. You're understanding more knowledge about how to lift yourself. Otherwise, the more knowledge you have in life, the better. Otherwise, if you don't have knowledge in this life, you're also dead. You have to read to grow up. Otherwise, if you don't read, you're dead. You have to read. Otherwise, if you don't read, you're dead. I read all the time because I want to live life. I want to live life more. Otherwise, if you don't read my content, you read somebody else's. Otherwise, if you're not interested in I, you'll go and be interested in some other I. I am you. I'm her. I'm the dog. I'm everybody. I'm your husband. I'm I. I'm everybody. You just married I today. Otherwise, when a couple gets married, otherwise they're marrying I today. You understand? Otherwise, when a woman doesn't want to pick me, but she pick a muscular man, otherwise she's picking I anyway. Or she just goes to a different format. You understand? Or that's what Osho teaches. Understand? Osho says, or as the woman doesn't want to pick him, but she went to some guy more muscular. You understand? Understand? He says that she just went to some other Jesus Christ. Or else everybody's Jesus Christ in this world. Or else everybody's God. Or else if you don't like me because of my muscle, you go and find somebody who has 1 inch bigger muscle, and that's what you're happy about. You're happy about 1 inch bigger muscle. You understand? Or else you found another Jesus then. Or else you don't accept me because of my muscle. I mean, how sad is that? Or else either way, I accept my muscle. I don't need you to accept my muscle. I love my muscle. You understand? I love everything about I. You don't have to love me. I understand that some women don't go for a man because he's hairy. I mean, they say yuck. They become yuck, and they find yucky man. You understand? Or else when you get grossed out by somebody, you become grossed out, don't you? Or else when you say yuck, you become yuck. You do. I first. I say yuck is not first. You don't say yuck first. Or else my mother, or else my biological mother says yuck first. Or else she misses the I completely. I say I'm not yuck. You can say I see that's yuck. I see that's yuck. I mean, that's different. You can say I see that's yuck. I say it's yuck. I see that's yuck. You don't say yuck. I mean, where's the I? You say, I see that's yuck. I say my biological mother doesn't say, I see that's yuck. I mean, she goes, yuck. I mean, she says yuck only. I mean, she misses the I completely. I mean, she becomes yuck. You understand? I mean, that's what, what you say is what you are. I say I first. I'm always I. I is the most fabulous word, and or it's a messy word, or it's a complicated word, or it's a simple word. Or it's not even complicated and it's not even simplicated in terms of life, in terms of I. Or else I is not even simple, I is not even complicated in I. Or else that anything that happens in this world has to be I today. I understand there's many trends on Twitter going on today. Or else Twitter is a nice beautiful application that is in 2020 module of I. Or else why did I end with the I here? Or else because life starts with I and ends with I. Or else that when I say what you never do in my nice beautiful journal, I say KFC. I then say for I. You understand? I then say, I never go KFC for I. I start with the I and end with the I in that sentence. You understand? I never need to go KFC. I don't need it. I realize it doesn't help me to have food and drink in my life. I already have I. I over the food and drink. I over your wife. I over your kids. I over you. I over your suits. I over your life. I over your life. I don't need your life. I have my own life. I have something I love to give every single day. I have something new every single day to perform. I understand there's always something more to say. I understand when I do some extra every single day, I understand I perform in a different way. I go and look at the crowd. I understand when I look at the crowd, I look at something new every single day, but I practice. I practice. I understand you guys don't need to make me famous. I'm already famous. I'm famous already. I just go and live my life in I. I understand that when she doesn't want me, or else she wants a drug addict. I understand I'm not a drug addict, or else she wants something else other than a sober type of guru. Or else when you don't want me because I'm sober, or else then you want somebody who's a drug addict. You understand? Or else if you don't want me in terms of my muscle, or else you want somebody who has steroids. You understand? Or else they want bigger muscle. You understand? Or else now you don't need steroids to get a bigger muscle. Or else there are some guys out there who have natural muscles and have bigger muscles than I. Although guess what? I have the biggest eye in the world. I have the biggest heart in the world, which is my eye. I understand I teach more than them. I teach more than their husbands. I teach more than their kids. You understand? I teach more than them. I approach it, they're never impressed by I. Or else you respect who teaches you more than yourself. Or else when I give you 1 billion hours of video content and you don't give me nothing, I understand I'm much more valuable. You will probably not agree with that. You'll say, nope. I understand I give you more though. You say, nope. I mean, you're just a liar then. You say, nope. You just disagree. You understand? Because that's what lies do. I mean, they don't want to admit, or else they don't want to admit that I'm better than them. Or else now, you cannot lie to the crowd though. You cannot lie to the crowd. Or else now, I mean, let's just put two people together in terms of I understand. I say I did 1 billion hours of video content. I prove it. Or else this man didn't even do 1 hour. I mean, who's better in this aspect? I. Or else now, if the crowd chooses him, or else they're liars as well. You cannot lie me out. Or else he's going to disagree. Or else he'll always disagree, even if the crowd says that I'm better than him. I say, I'm better than you, but I love you. I love you anyway. Or else just admit that I did more than you. I mean, Jesus Christ does more than you today. I mean, I understand that. I just do more than Jesus Christ today because I understand my I. I understand who I am. I understand the Bible is I. I understand every single day I've always got some new content going. I understand when I have some new content every single day, I understand that when they stop to look at I understand that's amazing. I understand it's really something that is promotional. I understand that I also make sure that every single day I promote I. I promote I. But those who are interested come to really see my tags over here. I see 10,000 people walk by, Or else they don't even come to see my Instagram. You understand? Or is it just fakers? Or does they don't want to learn something? Or does they want to learn from somebody else? Or let's go. Go learn from somebody else. I don't need you. I understand that when I grow up much more, I have to talk more, I have to do more, I have to be more every single day. I go do public speaking every single day, and I make a performance. I do it here for free. I never do it around Sydney because nobody calls I. You understand? Or when they don't call I today, or I just come here and do it. I make my own opportunity. Or else if you don't give me an opportunity, I'll create one. I'll create my life. I don't need you to create my life. I understand either way that what you have is I. I understand that, or else they want to take away your woman, or else they want to take away your woman, because they're jealous of you. Or else I don't need your woman, man. I have I. I don't need what you have today. I have everything already. I understand I have everything in terms of my knowledge. I understand when I get the knowledge every single day, I make sure I outperform everybody. I make sure I go do more and more and more. Or else somewhere down the line they're going to say, this man's really teaching something. I mean, do you understand that? You get it? Or else, I mean, if you don't go to the teacher, you don't go to Jesus Christ either. I mean, if you're not inspired by a public speaker, I mean, you're just never inspired about life. You get it? I just give some words of courage. I give some words of wisdom every single day. Or else, when I teach you something, I teach I every single day. I never waste a soul. I never waste my time over here. I'm recording this. Or else now, before technology came out, or else before the phone came out, I mean, what will I do then? Or else I have to go in front of people and do it. I have to actually make events. I have to make events. I have to then advertise those events. I have to make sure I get people in front of me. I have to go where people are. Or else street performance is another way. I have to make sure that I keep just doing the content, regardless. I come on the street, I do it without the camera. I still grow, regardless. I don't need them, but guess what? Or else the content is gone forever. I understand. Or else now I can record it. I can record my content, because in the olden days, or else they can never record this. I understand, that's how important the phone is. Or else it's so important to record myself today. Because 50 years ago, or else they cannot even record themselves. Or else they have a television camera. Or else now I can do a television camera and make a nice beautiful TV show as well. I make a TV show. I go advertise my TV show. I put money in it. You understand? I mean, how do I get the money? I work for it. I work for the money so that I can help you. I never even work for the money. I never work for money in the first place. I just get the money. I get the money, I put it to a TV show. Or else now, it's in your face. Or else that's the whole point. Or else in Hercules days, you understand, they have no chance to even record this. I mean, what do you do back then? To do a public speaking seminar? Or else to do a public speaking seminar in Hercules days, and Hector days, and Jesus Christ days. I mean, what did Jesus Christ do back in those days? I mean, 12 disciples around him and just walks around. Or else his disciples start to write down everything about the Bible and everything about Jesus Christ. And that's why you have a Bible today. I mean, back in those times, Jesus Christ done the Bible. You understand? Or else that's the only way. Or else that's what you do. But in Hercules days, especially the Troy days and the fighting all the time, or else Alexander the Great and all those times, you understand that they have no chance to even do Jesus Christ's work. I mean, they say that Alexander had 50 armies and all of this. You have to understand that Jesus Christ has the most. Actually, Jesus Christ has the most because he done more than Alexander the Great. You understand? Actually, he teaches you more. I promise you, those who teach more are always greater. I promise you, they're great people in terms of divine beings. I promise you, it's not about leading 1,000 men into another country to kill people. I understand Hitler killed 19 million people. I understand that is not the way to go. I understand that when you go and teach something, you go and teach it on video today, and audio and writing, because 100 years ago they didn't have the opportunity. You have to understand, I'm grateful for my phone. Or else Samsung. I love Samsungs. Or else my Samsung, I can open a file, I can open everything. I used to have an iPhone too. Or else they stole my iPhone. Or else when they stole my iPhone, I got myself another one. I invest in my technology. You understand? Or else when they steal from you, or else they didn't steal your eye though. I understand that I have my eye today. Or else if you come collect this today, I have my eye still. Or else I'll never take it away. Or else if you want to steal it, I mean just take it away. I mean it's that simple. I give it to you for free. I mean you just have to go and grab it and just run off with it. I'll give it to you. I mean if you want my phone, you just grab the phone and just run. I will never chase you. I mean it's for free. I mean if you want my phone, I mean just grab it and I'll never chase you. I mean it's that simple. I mean it's for free. I do everything for free, you understand? I understand anybody who wants my phone will also grab all the nice beautiful knowledge in there and will grab everything. I understand it's very beautiful. I'm not a stealer of life. I never steal. I never take people's stuff. You understand? I've got something to give. I've got something to do every single day. I'm doing a talk show all the time. I'm doing it every single day. You understand? Because the audio is important. I see an MP3 audio, I mean that goes for a lifetime. I mean that goes always. Or else the MP3 is always going to be here. You understand? Or else this video is going to be 480 pixel on YouTube and inside of my Mega Drive. And that's that. Because that's what I can afford. I can afford to do 4K, or I can afford to do all of it. But I understand either way that my time is more important. You understand? I've got something better to do than upload a 1 hour video and 2 hour video for 2 hours. You understand? I've got something better to do. I understand either way that I'm always leveling up. I'm always doing something better. I understand that what's important is you have the audio too. You have my video, or else this 480 pixel video camera. I understand it's really 1020 HD. I understand I have 2000 HD in this phone, but I make sure to export it in 480 pixels. I understand either way, you can still watch me. You can always watch me. Whereas now, why would you even go back on technology then? I mean, if you take away, or else if you take away 480 pixels from the world, I mean, take away the 720 HD too. I mean, then take away everything. Or else it's always here. I understand either way, it's more time effective for now, for myself to create these kind of videos. I understand either way, that it's something much more abbreviated every single day when you have your eye. I understand when I have the eye perspective every single day, I go do my content, just like you ride your skateboard. I do my content on my YouTube. I understand it's just like my skateboard riding. I go everywhere. I go every single day doing something that I love to do. I love to speak up sometimes. I love to speak up. I love to speak up all the time. I have a voice. I'm the voice of the voiceless. I understand I go and speak up for those who don't even understand how to do so. I understand I go and stand up for I today. I mean, what do you stand for today? I. You must say I. You must stand for yourself every single day. I understand when they go to the bar, I understand they've got nothing to do at the bar. I understand they've got nothing to do at nightclubs. I promise they're going to say music. I can listen to music everywhere. I don't have to go to the nightclub. I mean, what are you really there for? I mean, the experience of life. I mean, if you want the experience of a lifetime in a nightclub, I mean, be the DJ. I mean, go make your own music and pump it in the nightclub. And don't be the crowd who is watching the DJ. I mean, now, go around the world and travel in a nightclub, and after a nightclub, DJing your own music at festivals, and then you understand why you never go to a nightclub. And you understand never to go to a festival and nightclub unless you're a DJ. You understand? Because it's not worth it. Otherwise, if you're not the DJ at the nightclub and you're not the festival headliner, gosh, it's not worth it. You have to be headlining everything. You understand? I'm always the headliner. I'm always making sure that other people never kick me down in terms of my eye. I make sure nobody can kick me down no matter what in terms of my eye. I'm always lifting that up either way. I lift it up regardless, because every single day I do a 2-hour video over the next 72 years. I understand that's over 6 years of video work. I understand that's a lot of content. I understand either way that many people can far out-level me in terms of my eye. Or else they can always achieve more than I. You understand? Or else now, you also have to be a vegan for the next 72 years. You also have to be sober for the next 72 years. You also have to do more content than I for the next 72 years. You You understand? But I'm already the smartest in the world. Or else, no matter how much you do more than me in terms of my eye, I'm always smarter. I'm always better. I can understand what you're talking about anyway. Or else now, you may be able to do 10 times more than me in terms of my eye. I understand that all the work you've ever done in your life is simplified into the eye. I understand that's all you're talking about all day long. And all eternity is what you're talking about. I mean, is that all you're talking about? I mean, just talking about the eye? I mean, that's what I'm doing now. I mean, that's that. I mean, what is the Bible? I mean, the Bible is eye. I understand that. I just continue the work of the Bible. I continue that work daily. You understand? I continue the work. I just relax. I enjoy it. Or else if you outdo me, I mean, congratulations, but I understand what you're doing. I understand what you're doing. I understand you're doing eye. I mean, what else? I mean, congratulations. I mean, that's it. I mean, wow, you outdid me. You outdid me. I mean, big deal. I thank you very much. I love that. I gave you the knowledge to do so. I gave you the knowledge. Or else Jesus Christ gave me the knowledge to do this as well. I mean, big achievement. Or else it's a big achievement. I thank you. Or else now, continue your work. You understand? You outdid me. I thank you. I love that. I love you. I love to lift you above me in terms of my eye. I love to make you greater than I. I love to greater I today. I mean, is that what you're looking for? Brosha, that's what it is. Brosha, that's what you need to do. You need to level people up to be better than you. I'm not sure what kind of God do we have if God doesn't want you to be better than God? I want you to be better than me. I want you to be better than me. I want you to have more skills. I want you to do more. Understand? That's what I want you to do. Or else then when you do more than me, I understand you're just doing I today. I understand I is very important. I understand that's why I talk in a grammatical way to understand to go back to the I and to use me and myself and her and everything. I understand either way that I is everything. I stick to the I daily, I thank you. I understand either way that when I do something, I make sure I'm always leveling up every single day. I make sure every single day I do something more. I understand when I do something more daily, I always have something more to say every single day. I understand when I do that, I do it on video camera. I make sure I record myself in every aspect of life where I teach every single day. I understand when I do that, I'm always much more of a leader. I always have something more to say. I always have something more to do. I do a nice beautiful performance on the street every single day. I understand I have another fellow over here. I understand this fellow over here wants to check out my YouTube channel. I understand either way, or that's 3 for today. I understand in 2 hours I have 3. I understand I have a nice big portrait as well. I have a nice big portrait. I don't want to promote the big portrait with big letters. I want people to come right next to my face and check it out.
I'll check you out.
I thank you thank you, boss. I thank you. I understand either way that I'm much more leveled now. I don't have to impress other people. Or as they come to me, I'll give you all the information in the world. I'll give you so much content. I'll give you so much ideas. I'll give you so much entrepreneurship. I thank you. I understand either way. I've got 3 today. I had 3 today. You understand? Or else those 3 are going to show me around, definitely. Or else they went all the way to find out the knowledge. You understand? Or else they went all the way to grab that knowledge. Or else they say, you're great, man. And they say, you have something I need. Or else that's why they walk all the way here to come and get that, which is my label, to come and find my information. I give them a code. I give them a special code, which is Danny Milivojevic. And you can find me on Instagram and YouTube. You understand? Or as young kids came up to me. I understand they've got something much more to give. You understand? So they come and approach somebody who's inspirational. I mean, why would you approach me then if I'm not inspirational? I'm inspirational, so people approach me. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. Although I understand that Tony Yugoslav says, I'm not stupid fucking. You understand? Otherwise, either way, I understand Tony Yugoslav is half Serbian and half Croatian. Otherwise, that's what I am. I'm half Serbian and half Croatian in I. You understand? I'm everything. I make sure every single day that people just get what they deserve. I understand that what they deserve is something of information. Otherwise, when I give them that information, I go and develop it. I develop it every single day. I outdo Jesus, and Jesus says, I congratulate you. Otherwise, that's why I gave you the Bible knowledge. Understand? Or else when you outdo me in terms of my life, I say congratulations. Or else that's why I added to Jesus Christ, and you have my content as well, and Jesus Christ content, and that's why we helped you in terms of your eye. Or else that's why you're doing more than us now. You understand? Or else that's why we're leaders. Or else that's why something is amazing. I'm at the beginning of the internet age. Or else there's no one better than me today. Or else there's only I. I just lift the world. I understand when I lift the world daily, I always have something more to do. I understand when I do that daily, I just give you my eye. I give you the eye principle every single day. I understand that's very important. I understand every single day. I always have much more abbreviations. I always have much more to look forward to. I have more skills. I understand when they're not aware to come and check my Instagram out. I understand that they don't care. Or it's that simple. I understand that they just care about the crowd. I understand either way that they don't deserve the knowledge then. I understand either way. I just make sure daily to go promote I. I promote I daily. I promote something of fashion quality daily. I understand when I promote fashion quality, I give ideas. I give ideas in a different way. But the school of life is what? I. I is the school of life. Daily. I always have more I in I. I always have I to give. I understand when I give I understand I can finish up here because it's been 2 hours, but I understand that I finished my 1 hour today. I did 2 hours over here. Or else 1 hour is my goal. I achieve my goal of 1 hour and then I do some extra. Or else 2 hours I can be at Marketplace. I understand either way that I have to get myself a longer license so I can be here for all day. I can be here all day doing this. I sit over here, I get a chair or something. I relax. I do my Instagram or whatever. I just relax. You understand? I just make sure every single day you end with the I and understand that there's nothing greater than I.